Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Tuesday, Election Day in America's Rasaji Speaks. I hope you had a great Monday, and this is it. We're down to D-Day, right? I want you to think about what this means today because it meant a lot to these gentlemen that are behind me right now when they decided to form this more perfect union, right? So let's talk today about that. And the title of today is Election Day Enlightenment, Reclaiming Our Spiritual Freedom. Lamasery has said for eons of time, in our soul, we are free. Free indeed we shall be. So the state of the union should be what supports that. It's a no-brainer. Who we choose should support that. It's a no-brainer, whether we're talking today about the presidency, the Congress, the Senate, the three houses that have made our government not perfect, but the greatest instrument on the planet and the closest to honoring that. But it doesn't work if not enough conscious people get involved. There's consciousness, there's unconsciousness, and there's super consciousness. Remember that. Lamaji's been speaking to all three different states of consciousness, right? How do you know when the intuition that you're getting is reliable? How do you know when it's accurate, when it's not accurate? How do you know? Well, I'm going to share with you something that people don't think about. Remember, one of Lamaji Boyang's most profound statement is, the true miracle is a change or an elevation in consciousness and awareness. When you start your Sid Hondas and you spend a good 2 to 3 years doing that, you could probably trust what you're getting somewhere between 30 and 50% of the time. That might shock you, but that's accurate. That means once you're doing it 10 or 20 years, that percentage continues to go up. Somebody like Master David that's been doing Siddhanas for over 3 decades in this life alone and did Siddhanas in the most recent lifestyle, he's more like the 75 to 85 percentile. What he gets, you can take to the bank. What does that mean about Lamaji, who's been doing it over 55 years and did it for almost that many years in the most recent incarnation, let alone the other incarnations? What do you think that number is? It's high. Let me tell you, it's over 90 percentile. What does the Lamasery that's collectively been together pursuing Siddhanas, how accurate is the light of truth that they're delivering? When people speak, when you get involved in business with people or relationships with people, who do you listen to? How much can you trust the light of truth? Most people, when they get tired of Lamaji, it's because really, it's not because we're not delivering the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. And what happens and how ego shows its head, you get empowerment, you start to get some intuition, and the next thing you know, you think everything that's downloaded to you, you got to act on. One of the reasons we do column exercise and mirror meditation is to slow things down, anchor them down, ground them down, and center them down. And when we revisit these things every 3 to 6 months, what do you think happens? Look familiar? We're moving from unconscious to conscious. See, it's in our unconscious mind where fear of birth trauma and death urge reside. It's in our unconscious mind that we feel like we are always wishy-washy. That's our unconscious mind. And what makes things hectic is when you think everything is right on and you don't understand what's steering your boat. When can you trust the information that you're getting on the inside? I'll say again, if you're doing Sid Hondas and you're into the first 3 to 5 years of doing them, about 30 to 50% of the time. That means almost one every other time is questionable. What lies in the conscious mind? Love, joy, moving ahead of the death urge, moving ahead of the birth trauma. Super consciousness, when those two consciousness get together through the figure eight, is revealed where the light of truth really resides. What part of you is absorbing that truth, the unconscious or the conscious? Sometimes people come to me, they want to do a project, they want to be involved, they want to get into a partnership with me, they want me to invest in a piece of property or something. And everything is go-to. Maybe we're in the yin cycle coming out. And in the yin cycle, you have a tendency to get a little bit more intuition. Not necessarily the time to carry it out, because we found out those cycles, especially if it's a new action, should wait for the yang cycles. But the ego mind is impatient, is it not? The conscious mind is patient. The super conscious mind is so patient. It's like 1,000-year-old redwood in America or Canada. It's really patient because it's so balanced, it's so androgynous, right? But normally we are not that person. Here we are today, and we have allowed the unconscious and the dark side to rule our universities, take over our government, and a good part of our Fortune 500 companies. I don't know that you know this or not, but it's the vice president who finally confirms an election. Did you know that? Remember the controversy in January 6th with Mike Pence? Who confirmed the election? The VP. Doesn't matter what party leads, they're supposed to confirm. Isn't it ironically that the VP this time is running on the ticket? Is she going to confirm herself? Is she likely to confirm Donald Trump? I don't know. I think people will be drinking some Kool-Aid if they think automatically. Probably the only way that's possible is that Trump would win so big that the night of, which is later today, as you're watching this video, if 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, without a doubt, we know that he's the winner. And remember, when George Bush was running against Al Gore, who was the VP running, it was 46 days before that. There was a movie done called Recount. Actually, if you look close enough, it was an HBO special. Lamachi is actually in that movie, starring the actor Kevin Spacey, which was the head attorney on the Democratic side that took that fight to them. Was really an interesting thing to be in the movie because you got the insight of really what happened 24 years ago. Hard to believe. Yeah, Lamaji was in that movie 24 years ago. And I was a part of that HBO special. was in the entertainment business for a few years, remember? So democracy works most of the time, but have not we seen a pattern in the last since then? I think that was really the major beginning of one party telling people they really only want America to be one party. Well, the moment you start moving in that direction, you move into a realm of socialism. If you're able to implement it, it then becomes communism. And it is the opposite of what these people stood for. So don't be shocked if you find out that the VP running is a little resistance to confirming that election. So we will pray for major results. And also understand that don't be surprised by the time you hear this video, which is being made a whole week in advance, that there's an attempt by some of the people who have been allowed into the border to make a last stand against republic and democracy. You think some of these people that they have let in from the socialistic and communist countries might have a plan? What do you think they're after? And what would be their last stand? Maybe a 911 replica to turn the whole day of elections upside down? I hope not, but let's pray for the best, but prepare for the worst. Pray for the best and prepare for the worst. Be smart, be conscious. Better yet, be super consciousness. Don't forget Master David's class tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Mountain, and 6 o'clock Pacific time. Tell him that Lama G sends his best, and he'll put a lot of good energy on the final results of this election. God bless us and God bless America. Baraka Bashad. Love you much.